Nation, really appreciate you all. Let's talk a little bit about this. We already know that when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, there's so much news, there's so much information for the nation, but I got to say this. I got to. We're going to take best player available. They said that scheme would not be a situation or an issue when we passed on TJ Watt. Remember, we were saying that, hey, the scheme situation. No, this guy, what I'm talking about with the new philosophy, hey, if he can play, if he can ball, then we're going to take him. We're not going to sit back and fold up like lawn chairs. No, we're going to take the best player available. And I like every piece of that particular argument because at the end of the day, football is about one versus one, right? Can you beat your guy? And I want the person out there that can beat that person one across the other. You see. Of course, it's 11 versus 11, but that one individual battle, think about this. That individual battle, that mindset, when you have a person that knows how to get around to that edge, if you know have a person that knows how to catch and separate, baby, I'm telling you, that's the angle to go. Now, when you start to think about this team, and I look at what Mike McCarthy brings to the table, I have to say this, Cowboy Nation. And I know a lot of people, it's the off season. A lot of people will not feel the same way and sitting there saying that, well, it's a lot of football left. No. Right now is the time to grind, to know your roster, to also know what you got in front of you, and also add this into the mix to say to yourself, can I elevate each and everybody on this particular team? And I think that that's what Mike McCarthy brings to the table. Being able to elevate each and everybody. Oh Lord, what are you talking about? Look at it from this angle. Look at it from this angle. Think about this, Cowboy Nation. When the defense folded up, there was nobody really saying to themselves, how can I increase this person? It was just like this person is out there and he's not taking care of his issues, and we know for sure that this is a known problem by not playing Jordan Lewis. But when you have a new defensive coordinator, a new defensive philosophy, it's no love affair for, dare I say, a player. Meaning that if you mess up and you blow up your assignment, this new coaching staff going to look at it like, okay. I did a video earlier, I guess last night, about Xavier Woods. I put out there, I said, is he a ball hawker? You know, can he ball hawk? Can he cover in space? Do he got range? We saw some times where we saw for sure, and we knew that this guy can get to that edge there as it relates to coverage out in space. But too many times he didn't come down with the ball. I think somebody said that he dropped four known interceptions that he could have, but he dropped them. Not going to happen with this new regime because they're going to look at it like, hey, it's all good and everything that we're number 25 and you've been rolling around with this team for a minute. But no, we got people from other organizations that played with this particular coach that's going to try to take your job. I've been telling people for a long time, people think that the salary cap, that what creates parity in the NFL. No, what creates parity is pure competition. When you got to compete for your particular job. Best player available going to be at Pensa, and this is McKinney. CJ Henderson, shout out to you. Hey, team needs. Look, we all need team needs, right? We can say, yeah, we need this, we need that. But if your draft board, and you stand true to your draft board, is a cornerback, then you take him. If your draft board is true to the fact that I like the interior guy opposed to the cornerback, then you stay true to your board. Do not sugarcoat your board. Pick the best player available. Kinlaw, Delpet, McKinney. This is from McKean. Now, there are some philosophies out there. One can say that, well, my philosophy is this. My philosophy is going out there, grabbing the guy that we know that we need more than that's available. No, you can never have too many good players. You can never have too many great players. So if you have, dare I say, Ken Law above McKinney as relates to your draft board or what have you, do not fiddle-faddle around with it and say, well, I picked McKinney. Go after what you did your homework on. Because we already know that any given Sunday, a quarterback can go down, or any given Sunday, a defensive lineman can go down. But if when you do your homework and when you did your study work, hey, this is the guy that we feel that is comfortable based upon our homework that he's a better player, then you go with it. And I'm not saying that McKinney is less than Ken Law. What I'm saying is that stay true to your board. That's all I'm saying. Now, when tags touches, meaning that if you have, let's say I'm just using a unrealistic number. Let's say if it's a grading scale from 1 to 100 or 1 to 10. Let's use that. And you have McKinney at a 9, and you have Ken Law at a 9, and you know for sure that you got 5 other 9s that's right after that particular pick. That's when you can really start willing and dealing and saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to move back a little bit. I'm going to move back just a little bit. I'm going to move back so that, we can pick up somebody else because the tags are touching anyway. Let me get multiple draft picks so I can have more on the plate. So moving back from 17 to 24 may not be that bad. And then you pick up extra picks. Maybe you can finesse that thing in that way, you say. If that's only if the tags are touching. If they're not touching, then you don't play around and you don't do that. Now, going back, because I'm trying to get this thing real quick. Locke says, why you don't get the notification? Come on, Locks. I don't know. This thing is crazy, man. That's why I go live at different times. For those who got notification, let me know. Post it down below. Really appreciate you all. I try to put out much content as I can when I have free time, and I got a free time right now. So I don't know, Locks, man. Let me know if anybody else having that issues of not getting notifications. Shout out to the notification squad. Here's the thing. When we talk about David Irving, his approach, the Cowboys came out and said, okay, we will entertain him. We will say, okay, bring him in for a cup of coffee. Now, will David Irving be the end-all, be-all? I don't know. Can he pass his physical? I don't know. My thing is with David Irving type of person, if you can figure out to have some type of agreement and the NFL gives him that reinstatement and the NFL says, okay, this guy's free to play without losing any games, then you can bring David Irving in. Now, from a locker room perception or perspective, I don't know how the other players will look at it because I think that during the time that David Irving was going through his situations, I think that Sean Lee was sitting there saying that, hey, this guy don't love football. I think it was from Sean Lee. Guys, can help me out. Find the link posted down below. Help me out. I don't know everything. I know you guys know most of the things. But at the same time, David Irving, close your eyes. Just imagine. We love Antoine Barbecue Woods. We do. We love Malik Collins. We loved when they brought in Kerry Hyder. We love the other guy that put on number 95. I forgot his name. I think it was like Christian Covington. We love him. But baby, I'm talking about from an inside perspective. They ain't no David Irving. They ain't no David Irving. And all I can say is, Robert Quinn, if we figure out a way to sign Robert Quinn again, sign Robert Quinn again, and you put David Irving into the inside, don't you know? People was talking about D-Law's production, how he can't beat the double team. Don't you know we would wish somebody give David Irving some single one-on-one action into the inside. We wish that would have happened because he would have took advantage of the situation. Look, there's 3 type of people out there in the world. There's people that go watch things happen. As a person that says, hey, what just happened? And then there's a person that go out there and make things happen. And when he's on the field, minus the coaching situation and minus the drug policies, he's a person that go out there and make things happen. I recall that 2016 game, David Irving versus the, dare I say, Green Bay Packers. Although Ezekiel did his deal, Dak Prescott played pretty well. David Irving did his deal by creating that fumble in the end zone, red zone, money zone when it was close for the Green Bay Packers to punch it in, and also getting to, dare I say, an Aaron Rodgers. Now, even when we made it to the playoff that year, David Irving was creating all type of pressure, all types of pressure from the interior. It's just that the officials got blind and they couldn't see. It was Ray Charles to the thing. They couldn't see. They couldn't see that David Irving, they blind, they couldn't see that David Irving was pretty much had got choke slammed into the interior and it had all type of cloth. They never called, holding on that particular guy. But that's the story of another day. That's the story of a different day, Cowboy Nation. I like the fact that they are at least entertaining the ideal. Not saying that he's going to be the end all be all, but let's see what he can do as it relates to a rotational guy, because that's what he's going to have to be if the Cowboys, bring him back in for a cup of coffee. He'll be a rotational guy to put inside the middle. They will sign Dak. I see. Shout out to you, Locks. Shout out to everybody that's here, man. All of you all. My thing is, I didn't want to talk about Dak Prescott. It's so much news about Dak Prescott. So much news. Is he going to get paid? Do the Cowboys organization love him? Is he a franchise quarterback? Hey, speaking of franchise, should you franchise tag Dak? There's so many people, man. And I try to sit back and I watch some of the ESPN takes of Dak Prescott, First Take, Undisputed, all of those. And sometimes I don't even watch the video. I just click on a video, and I want you guys to do the same. Click on a video and just scroll and watch the comments. I said, man, you would think that Dak Prescott, you would think that we went 0-16, 3-13, you see? And then we went 7-9 and maybe 8-8 this last season. And you would think that Dak Prescott is the only reason why we lose any game. You think that if we had any other quarterback, we'd be undefeated. It's just like Ezekiel Elliott never did nothing wrong. Amari Cooper never did anything wrong. Terrence Williams, when he was playing for the Dallas Cowboys, never did anything wrong. Jason Witten, nobody else. It seems as if, though, it was just by chance, just by a struck of luck, you see, that all of a sudden Dak Prescott won 40 games, lost 24 during the Jason Garrett administration. It's crazy. And for me to pull that out and say, okay, Dak Prescott is 40-24, somehow I'm just a Dak Prescott apologist by saying that. But I encourage anybody to just go to any of those Dallas Cowboys, .com, any articles dealing with Dak Prescott, and it's so much hate. It's so much. I'm sitting there like, what is he doing? Why do people hate the brother? And it's the difference between criticizing and being critical, because we know that, we know that you can be critical of someone and give your honest critiques of somebody. But to never add in the fact that, hey, he did this good, that what makes you a hater. I've seen people go back and forth, Cowboy Nation, saying, no, just because I criticize Dak doesn't mean that I'm a hater. Like, dude, you just define yourself as being a hater because you are. You never gave any objectivity of why he's great, you say. I just can't make this stuff up. I can't. Sometimes, and I'm just speaking to some people, sometimes I just wish, because I love the Cowboys more than anything as it relates to sports. I'm a Laker fan, of course. I'm from Mississippi. You got to pick teams. But I follow the Cowboys more than anything. But sometimes I sit back and say to myself, I just wish Dak wasn't even on the team. I just wish we never even had the chance or the opportunity so that these whiny fans and half of our fan base can just get along. But the reality of it is that I believe that even if we were to have Tom Brady for all of those years, even if we were to have Peyton Manning, we would still have the same nonsense fans saying, hey, this guy sucks. This guy can't do this. He can't do that. You see? So we're never satisfied. We are never satisfied. Hey, I've seen people, this is one of their arguments, and I hate to make this Dak conversation talk over, because, shout out to Hale State, Mississippi State and all that, but this is the craziest thing I ever read. I did the comparison analysis of Peyton Manning and Dak Prescott's first 4 years. people didn't do their homework, so they're sitting there saying, well, Peyton Manning didn't have this. He had 2 Pro Bowlers as it relates to the offensive line. Go look it up. And I think one of the guys going to already in the Hall of Fame, Jeff Saturday, he's in the Hall of Fame. On top of that, he was handed Marvin Harrison, right? He was handed Marshall Faulk. Then when Marshall Faulk left, he got Edgerrin James. You see, those are 2 guys are in the Hall of Fame, all 3 of them guys, you see. On top of that, he had a Reggie Wayne. We can talk about the coach for the first 2 years of his career. He had the guy, remember, I've got his name at the tip of my tongue. He said, playoffs? Remember that guy? I think his name was Jim or something. He had him. And that's when he did the rant and he got fired or what have you, and they brought in Tony Dungy. But for his first 4 years, he had offense. So I think it was a fair comparison because Dak Prescott didn't have those caliber of multiple wide receivers in his first 4 years. On top of that, I did a comparisons analysis of Edgerrin James compared to Ezekiel the Main Man Elliott. The numbers are pretty much mirroring, the exact same for the first 4 years. But somehow I had people to say that, Law, you're wrong. Dak Prescott was handed a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl / Hall of Fame type of team, and he wet the bed with it. And I'm sitting there like, did 2015 exist in your world? On what planet you on? Because I believe in 2015 we won only 4 games, right? And on top of that, we had the exact same offensive line, the exact same wide receivers, the exact same, you can say 3rd overall in rushing, the total numbers in rushing. So we were able to run the ball, but we couldn't win. We had Brandon Weeden. We had Matt Castle, who threw the world's first interception that was so bad that they called intentional grounding. Let that sink into your mental. I don't think that there's ever been another player that threw an interception and they say, you know what, God dog, we're going to have to say that that's intentional grounding. That's how crazy Cowboys fans are. They forget, they have amnesia. They forget about 2015 and 2016. Yes, I kid you not, Ezekiel Elliott is dog nasty. He's a dog. I love Ezekiel Elliott. But if you put Ezekiel Elliott on 2000, from Ezekiel Elliott, just talking about Zeke, if you put Ezekiel Elliott into 2015, they don't go 13-3, Cowboy Nation. Newsflash. Ezekiel Elliott placed in 2015, they don't go 13-3. I'm going to repeat. Ezekiel Elliott with Brandon Weed and Matt Castle. Dare I say, what's the left-handed wonder? Kellen Moore. They don't go 13-3. They don't. But the exact same team, pretty much that's all you changed out from 2015 to 2016 was Zeke and Dak. Everybody else same. All right, Cowboy Nation, I done stole enough of your time. I really appreciate you all. I cannot believe that this team is finally heading in the right direction. And it is what it is. Shout out to Mr. Prime. He says, excuses. Let me see what he's saying. It went away. He says, excuses every year, excuses for Dak. Well, now, let's say that when let me see how I can put this. Excuses. What are really excuses? Let's dive deep into this because I'm about to go. What is really an excuse? When you have an excusable absence from your job, it's because, car got on flat, not able to make it into work on time. Yeah, you get a pass for that one time, right? But if your car continually to get on flat, it could be the type of tires you're buying, right? Could be the type of car you got. So then it's not an excuse to becoming a problem. So when you buy a whole new car and those tires are continuing to get on flat and continuing, see, now there I go to preaching. That car continue to get on flat and you continue to be late. It's not the car. It's not the person that's driving the car. It's the person maybe that's owning the car. Or there's a thing that they call and they say, what's the common denominator? So, the same issues that we had with Dak Prescott for these first 4 years, dare I say, I can go back with historical data and show and prove with evidence, with facts, opposed to somebody saying excuses, Mr. Prime. So when I go back and I start educating and I bring with me facts opposed to somebody just saying excuses, I bring data with mine. I can go back and say, before Dak Prescott in 2015, we had these problems. Before 2015 and 2013, dare I say, we had these problems. In 2009, we had these problems. In 2007, we had these problems. So there I can say that it's not the car. It's the person who you can say that's driving the car. It's the person that owns the car, but it's not the car. And that's why I kill and destroy you with facts. And that's why I just won that debate. We've been having these issues before Dak Prescott came along. That's all I'm saying. And until somebody else can bring their actual facts to the situation and the actual data with the facts, then I will sit and listen, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. No excuses, just facts. Makes your teeth white. It does. Let's go.